footage and just the people getting in on the ground to discover the horrific scenes all coming to light today, at least partially. And along those lines, we're joined in the studio by Moshe Melayev. He's a volunteer with what's called Unit 360 here. First of all, and before we even get into what's on the ground for our viewers, describe what Unit 360 is and what the greater operation, what's the mission? Yeah.
So to make the short story short, it's, we're actually doing same as Zaka, but we are there for everyone who needs us, actually.
This is body and body part collection. I want to tell our viewers here. Zaka, known for that.
Correct.
I don't want to say famous, but becoming well known during so many of the horrible attacks that we've had before. So that's specifically your group's job to go in there. Are you among the first people in there to these areas, along with the Army, to lay hands on these bodies, essentially?
I wasn't the first, but I came to the south 2 days ago, and I came as a medic to take care of the wounded, but I didn't have any job to do. I just left the place and I started to look for where I can be beneficial for any organization, and this is how I found myself in Unit 360.
And since that point, more or less, what have you been up to? What have you discovered? As difficult as it is to describe, what have you seen since that time?
You talked about just recently. You talked about seeing these images and imagine and what situation we are. But I don't think people at home really understand.
I don't think so.
In what situation we are. The things that I saw during these 2 last days, I never saw anything like that before. They just didn't make any difference between children, elderly, women, even the former workers from Thailand. I mean,
right, foreign workers
they just
slaughtered.
Yeah, it's
clearly not Israeli Jews, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a show the animal they are. I mean, it's unbelievable. I was before at the very
right. This is
difficult.
Important to learn. You're not a rookie at this.
No, not at all.
You're hard figured.
I
faced these things voluntarily.
Faced these things before,
right.
And with accidents, with terror actions, and I saw things before.
Of course.
But it's never easy, But nothing's like that. It's the first time I seen such images.
Look, this being an active war zone for the last 2 days, too, as you've gone in there, this isn't just an attack that occurred and it's done and you go in and literally clean up the pieces. What kind of unique difficulties did you face, going into these areas where so much of it, inaccessible to you, essentially, when you got there still?
Yes. First of all, I mean, from my point of view, as a citizen, it looks like it's all mess, Everybody's trying to understand, to figure out what to do. Yeah,
the fog of war, as we say.
It was actually looking like that. Yeah.
Look, I don't know if you know or can tell us. I mean, I know statistics are still being compiled, but in your estimation, I mean, roughly, how much has yet to be discovered? What's the estimation that there's still many more out there, bodies to find, to collect?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, just let me tell you something.
Yeah.
For example, yesterday we had, I think, 13 trucks waiting on the parking lot, which every truck had 50 victims inside of that. I don't know if they've been counted yet or not, but if not, there is 600 more. I mean, it's
my God.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking officially. I don't know. I don't know the numbers.
I don't think
just things that I saw in my eyes.
Status. Everybody's on the ground. We're just gleaning information from people like yourselves who've been there. Yeah. Obviously speechless. Look, I think a very important part that I want to highlight here is you're a volunteer, okay? Yes. Essentially, every soldier down there is a volunteer. A volunteer is essential. This is what the country's doing right now, stepping up, volunteering, taking on the most horrendous situation imaginable. These are all volunteers with you down there.
Yes, everybody's volunteer. And it's amazing to see people coming and begging to volunteer. They don't have enough place to have these volunteers. So it's amazing. We have a wonderful people. We are great people, and we're strong people, and I'm sure we're going to win. It's just a matter of time and a patience.
Where do you go from here, Moshe? First of all, we're just so grateful you spend the time with us in the studio.
Yes.
I know clearly you have important work to do, and just to take this moment with us, so important for our viewers. Again, I mentioned to everyone, there are people around the world, our dear friends who are struggling to understand what's happening, who want, as painful as it is, to know. Where do you go from here? Are you going back to work in the South? Is there just more communities to
Yeah, I'm actually go back to Ramle. There is a base near Ramle where they concentrate all the victims there, and I go back there to keep up the job. We see that as a holy mission.
It is.
We see that as a holy mission. This is why we are so connected to this emotionally, physically, and we do our best. It's not easy. It's a process to identify each body, and which could be terrorism involving there. It could be anyone. So it's not an easy job, and nobody wants to do any mistake, to mixed up with the victims. So
Just to give our viewers a little more idea of what this means. It means you are collecting bodies, like guarding over them, essentially. As being an important part of it is someone, staying with the bodies, correct, but identifying and trying to, I don't know, lack of words, but to put them back together again, right? To sort of find the pieces of people.
Let me tell you something very short. First body I took out, unload from the truck. She was, I think, 5 or 6 years old girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, with a terrifying look on her face. It's. I think I never saw anything like that in my life. I mean, how could you shoot such a beautiful girl? I mean,
and this is up close. This isn't an airstrike gone wrong. This isn't an errant mortar shell. This is up close murder.
Yeah. They came. I heard they came with knives, shovels, hawks, everything they could pick up. They just pick up and kill people. It's like butcher. Yesterday we had 94 years of Me'orot Tarpat. What they killed, it was 94 years ago, and they killed in Hebron 130 people.
Right.
And we remember this until today.
Massacre of the defenseless Jewish community there at the time.
And today we're talking about 700, 900,000 in one day. It's unbelievable.
It's one of the blackest days in the dark annals of Jewish history, in my opinion. Moshe Melayev, volunteer with Unit 360. This is one of the body protection and collection units. Again, a volunteer to you and all of your units and all of your comrades out there. Thank you from the entire nation for doing the work you're doing. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Be strong, and thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Precious to have you here for a minute. We'll let you get back to work. Clearly, important work to be done on that front. Again, as our correspondents